now for Futures in Focus, and Guy and I are taking a look at Bitcoin futures. So I should point out, Guy, that Bitcoin futures are a really small percentage of what actually makes up for Bitcoin trading. But what we're seeing in it is quite interesting, Guy. We have a chart that shows open interest and the price. Now, typically, if you have the price and open interest moving together, that tends to mean something like organic demand, new longs coming in. If you see open interest go down and the market goes up, well, that's just some straight up short covering. So maybe we're able to break out more. On the other hand, it has pierced, $13,000 mark, so you could be in overbought territory.
Technically, I'm told we are in overbought territory, but this is Bitcoin, so who knows? But the logic in some ways is certainly there, Alex, as we see debt levels, government debt levels around the world going up and going up at a rapid rate. You would have thought that devaluation or debasement certainly become more and more likely. Therefore, in theory, and you could make the argument for gold, but that doesn't seem to be holding up that well. You could make the argument that maybe you want to be buying into Bitcoin and you want to be buying into other such products. I wonder whether that's what is driving things at the moment or whether we're back to speculative fervor. But it's interesting that potentially at this moment there would seem to be a little bit more logic to what is happening.
And it also raises the question of what is a good inflation trade? Like, as you point out, if you have a lot of money printing all around the world, what is the best inflation trade? Like, it used to be gold, but also overall commodities, oil, for example, and now you have to factor in Bitcoin, but Bitcoin specifically, not necessarily Ethereum or Ripple, for example.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that we saw the GS call yesterday on commodities. Part of that, as you pointed out, was inflation. Doesn't have to be oil, can be copper, can be all the other metals as well. But that a real store of value in some ways.